I'm OVW official Josh Ashcraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at Triple Threat Talk. I'm Dean Hill.
This is Ricky Chevy, and I'm the blue collar millionaire.
I'm Mr. Peck. God, that's great every time. Spectacular.
We're the Bronis Brothers.
I am the One Go Revolution, Taylor Hendricks.
This is Brandon Espinoza.
I'm the Assassin.
I'm Bruno Raul Limana.
I'm James Moose Thomas.
I'm Shiloh Jones.
My name is Ron Head. I'm the announcer for OVW.
I'm Jamin Olivencia.
I'm Alex Silva. I'm Rocco Bellagio.
I'm Kerry Bodie, the Ohio Valley Wrestling fan advocate.
Raphael Constantine.
I'm Rand Perez. My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez.
I'm Paradise.
This is Jack Black.
This is Ohio Valley Wrestling. Referee Chris Sharp.
This is Sexy Sean Casey. I'm Chris Silvio.
This is Michael Hayes. This is Jason Wayne.
You're watching Triple Threat Talk.
Welcome everyone to episode 53. We're the 53 jersey this week. No one likes 50. I'm kidding. It's Larry Grant. He's a great player.
That's right, I didn't know who he was.
That's right. He's Patrick Willis's backup.
Good for you.
Next question.
I don't have any more for you.
We've seen an exciting week in sports.
Absolutely.
Yes, we have.
Before we get started here tonight, I do want to thank all the great viewers from last week. Almost 230 views. It probably had something to do with that you weren't here. It might have been. It seems like, and it's not to you. It's to two people. It seems that when two people are on the show, we get a lot of views. When you weren't here, we had a lot of views.
That's true.
So
that's crazy.
I wonder how many views we get if I wasn't here.
They'd triple.
Can we try that?
Yeah, let's try it.
Let's try that. Let's just try it.
Unfortunately, we can't
leave now.
Let's just try it.
We can't really put the show together without him. If one of us wanted to learn the techno mumbo jumbo,
Give him a bigger head than he already has. Okay,
Sure.
let's leave it to where it is.
and we'll let Cody give him the rest.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What was that? 1 minute and some change in, and
let the bashing begin.
That's what he said.
Anyway, let's get things underway.
So, as we always do, we like to start off the program with viewer questions. Viewer questions.
We coined it last week, viewer. Viewer.
I don't care. It's
Deal with
viewer
it.
in my book, and it's going to stay the viewer. From Against All Odds 20.
20.
I don't know where he's going with some of these, but we'll see. What do you think was Kane's best match from 98 to 01?
Didn't he? This is the easiest one for me to think of is he fought Taker at 14. WrestleMania 14, his first big feud was with his, brother, Undertaker, and their match at WrestleMania was one of their classics. They actually had another one later down the road in WrestleMania 20, which was a lot later, but I think his match with Taker at 14 was pretty good.
I'm going to say Stone Cold. And then of course he won the title.
For one day.
For one day.
Less than 1 day.
But I think that's what made it awesome was, who holds the title for one day?
He did get the belt.
Yeah, that's right.
He got the belt. So.
Yeah, I think so. But I like Big B's answer. The whole angle with the brother situation, I think, is a good idea. Brother. No, not that brother. We're not talking about Hulk Hogan here.
Oh.
We might talk about him here in a little bit. If you're lucky.
I'm lucky.
Big B.
What
are your thoughts on the Skyrim DLC Dawn Guard? I think it's great. $20 for 10 to 20 hours of gameplay is awesome.
Well, I'll be honest, I haven't even finished Skyrim yet because the game is so massive. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it only because the DLC comes out for Xbox first at the end of the month. PS3 hasn't been announced yet, so my thoughts on it looks pretty good. If I have an Xbox, I would definitely get it. So,
all right,
short and sweet.
Sounds good. Sounds good. From the CAW interviewer.
Who's the interviewer? I want to know.
I don't know. Maybe he's interviewing us because he's asking us a question. So therefore he's interviewing Triple Threat Talk.
He interviews creator wrestler.
How's the interview a creative wrestler?
That's what his name says.
Oh my god!
Which superstar have WWE made the biggest mistake by releasing?
You answered your own question.
Yeah, exactly.
You did it. You already did it. What is the most controversial line in WWE?
Controversial line?
I think
There's
Austin 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass."
I don't know if that's controversial.
Yes, it is.
Because
It's kind of Bible
it
related.
has biblical implications.
Controversial.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say it's the most controversial.
Maybe a controversial line could be this. Allow me to introduce the new Raw General Manager. His name is Eric Bischoff. That was pretty controversial.
Controversial creates cash.
You know
Good
what?
book, by the way.
I kind of think another set of lines that are the most the most controversial. The name on the paper does say McMahon, but it doesn't say Vince.
It says Shane McMahon.
I think those are pretty good lines.
Good question.
From Buckin' 5.
Hey!
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
What?
It's a family show.
He said Buckin', not...
Yeah. Postmaster. Yes.
Oh, it's you.
Yes. What? Yes. If you could be the pit crew for any NASCAR driver, past or present, who would it be? Who do you think? He said Postmaster. I'm getting his opinion.
You're...
Postmaster says Tony Stewart.
No.
Nobody asked you. It's not your opinion, so keep your mouth shut.
No, why does anybody ask me questions? You got questions for this guy and this guy. I mean, come on.
Nobody likes you.
Because you're boring.
You take up too much time. And you ramble.
This coming from a guy who answers who takes 3 minutes to ask about DLC Dom.
I took like 2 seconds.
I'm just saying.
I remember when Michael Hayes filled in for him. He talked about Justin. He put his head on this desk and fell asleep.
It's a sport. It needs to be covered, okay?
It's a video game from the 80s.
From now on, we're talking about mini golf, pinball, skee-ball, skee-ball.
Hey, I'll talk skee-ball. Let's talk skee-ball.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Come over, we'll play skee-ball.
Yeah.
Anyway, also from Buckin' 5.
Whoa!
Would you rather box Mike Tyson
No.
or wrestle Hulk Hogan?
That's an easy question.
I'll do this like Paul Rudd does it. Ask that question again. Ask the question again.
Okay. Would you rather box Mike Tyson or wrestle Hulk Hogan?
I don't want to do any of those things.
That's epic. I don't want to do any of those things.
I don't want to do any of those things.
The only way I would box Mike Tyson was in Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Okay. Shut up, Glass Joe.
Really?
Sorry.
Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, Mike Tyson punch, you probably lose a tooth or all of them.
Yeah, I'd have to say wrestle Hulk Hogan for sure. What are your favorite DWA theme songs? And do you have trouble using copyrighted music?
Some of my favorite theme songs are Lance Burton's theme song. A lot of people said his song by Breaking Benjamin had enough fits him to a T, and I think it does. I like Vega's theme song, the one I changed it to for Destruction Mania. The Doctor's Order theme song, Give Me Shelter by Rolling Stones. And he was gonna let me live that down. There's a lot of good theme songs that I like. I like Anti-Flash's theme song.
Anti-Flash.
Anti-Flash's theme song. I'm trying to think of the name.
Dun dun dun.
Thank you. Wonders at Your Feet is like a dark tranquility. Wonders at Your Feet. And it is a problem using copyrighted music because with YouTube back then it wasn't as hard because they didn't really monitor like they do now. But now if you use like anything with a song, anything at all, they'll copyright it, and you might get lucky where they say match third party content, or it can be a situation where they actually completely block the audio in the video, which is tough to get by sometimes. So.
I think some of mine. I mean, obviously, the songs I use are songs that I kind of like the original Doctor song, Kevin Rudolph, and then
Let It Rock.
Let It Rock. Thank you, and then Give Me Shelter. But yeah, I like Lance Burton's song. A couple of the other songs I like that you use like for Wayne's World. I like that you use theme song and the Ghostbusters. Wayne's the same thing. Wayne's World. I like it when stuff is used like that. Yeah.
People only do things because they get paid, and that's just sad.
Yeah.
I will not bow to any corporate sponsor.
That's right.
Pepsi Max, delicious and nutritious.
It's not nutritious, that's for sure.
So, do you have any tips for anybody?
Tips
who wish to start a CAW league?
Don't do it.
If it's something you want to do, first of all, want to do it, okay? You have to want to do it or you're not going to be interested in it anymore. That's the bottom line. Pick people that you are interested in. Don't just pick people because, like, for example, when I first started, I did that and that was my bad. I picked people that were already established in that. I picked, like, Batman and Street Fighter people. It's like, you want to be different is what I started doing after 2008. I picked people that I was interested in that I thought would be actually interesting to put on a show. That's what you have to do. Make it interesting. Do storylines that you find interesting. Don't do something that's been done before. Be yourself.
Yes, because a pipsqueak with a magic lamp is so interesting.
Prince Ali. Ali is he. I'll say this. I was at the tapings last night for DWA, and I saw the match between Paul Blart and Aladdin. It was very good. So,
You're welcome.
Paul Blart versus Aladdin.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I told you he'd be a good champ.
If you owned a football team...
I'm surprised for your destruction. So
if you owned a football team...
I'd have a lot of money.
Obviously. Who would you draft first? Andrew Luck or Robert Griffin the third?
RG3 draft first.
You know what? As much as I think his prediction of the Redskins going 12-4 is absolutely ludicrous,
It is absolutely ludicrous.
I would also say RG3.
You've been taking some of Tony Gunn's happy pills again, haven't you?
Push it to the limit. Past the point of no return.
I do like RG3 a little bit more than Andrew Luck because with Andrew Luck, yeah, you're getting a little bit more of a guarantee, but to an extent, because he's had extensive knee problems in the past. And of course, you know, sometimes you might get cut low. They're trying to cut some of this stuff out of the NFL. Anybody's career can unfortunately come to an end at any particular point.
Right.
But Andrew Luck has the knee problems, and you don't know how it's going to affect him in the pros. When he, at Washington, he is going to be running for his life. So their offensive line is not the greatest. It's not the worst, but
they have a pretty decent offensive line.
I've seen better offensive lines in my day.
And the thing is, I know we're getting kind of off the question.
Well, no, it answers the question.
The thing I was going to say about the Redskins is, like, this is the first time probably since Joe Theismann when they actually have a quarterback they can believe in, because they've drafted quarterbacks before Redskins and they haven't had really anybody that's their guy. Everyone thought it was going to be Patrick Ramsey. He was going to be the guy, but he didn't pan out. And then they've had like bad quarterback after bad quarterback. They thought Rex Grossman, but he didn't pan out. So maybe this is one for them. So yeah, we'll see.
I'm going with Andrew Luck.
Well, you would to be different.
What? No, it's because, like I told you earlier, the NFL is easily, and not easily, they have done and they will continue to catch up to this running quarterback ideal. I mean, look at Michael Vick. He's one of the most injured players in the league. Why? Because he's a running quarterback. If Tim Tebow plays enough as a starter or plays enough period as a running quarterback, he's going to get hurt.
Right.
It's inevitable. Running quarterbacks get hurt more often. That's why I would pick Andrew Luck.
I think
because he's more of a pocket passer. He's more of a sit in the pocket, you know, bide his time and throw the ball. He's not going to do a lot of scrambling. He's not going to roll out and do a lot of stuff to get hurt or get injured.
Sure.
And
but he's going to unintentionally be running for his life in Washington.
I think to our point, where I think, well, I don't know about you, but the reason I picked Robert Griffin III, yeah, he is mainly a running quarterback. That's no denying. But I saw him play in Baylor, and he can throw the football. So I'm saying
every school in the Big 12 can throw the football.
I'm just saying, RG3 won the Heisman for a reason.
But the average score in the Big 12 football game is like 60.
I know, but I'm saying he won the Heisman. He won the Heisman for a reason.
But I mean, yeah, and you're right. But like I said, I mean, we could go on about this all day. But like I said, it's and it is an interesting discussion. Don't get me wrong. And they talked about it all year in 4-letter network all year. ESPN said Andrew Luck or RG3. At first I started with Andrew Luck,
right?
And he started getting knee problems.
A lot of the experts did say, in the short term, they would take Robert Griffin now. In the long term, they would take Luck.
From the FWA Owner 22.
What does FWA mean? I want to know.
It means Fail World Association.
Whoa! Hey, don't diss him like that. It could mean something else. You don't know.
Family Wrestling.
Could mean Feline Wrestling Association. You don't have no clue. You have no idea.
It could be.
Okay?
All right. Do you think the Patriots made a good decision cutting Chad Ochocinco?
You mean Chad Johnson?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you think Chad will be... Wait a minute. He already has Chad Johnson.
Wait. Let me read this question again. Do you think the Patriots made a good decision cutting Ochocinco? And do you think Chad will be picked up by anyone else? And if so, who? I have a prediction. He will be picked up by the Miami Dolphins. That's my prediction.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Did they make a good decision?
I think when you posted this question, it didn't happen already. The Dolphins did sign to a one-year contract, so it's not anything long-term. First of all, I think part of this decision might have something to do with they're going to be on Hard Knocks this year on HBO, and it might create some kind of controversial thing with him. So that might be why they signed him. I don't know, but he's still a good player, so we'll see.
He is what you call a locker room cancer.
Yeah,
he's not.
I agree.
He is.
He causes trouble.
He is trouble.
He's a loud mouth.
Look at it this way, though. T.O.'s been on, what, like 5 teams? He's only been on one, Chad.
He's been on 3 now.
This is 3 now.
Well,
2 before this one.
Yeah, but he was with the Cincinnati Bungles.
Well, he was their star player.
Well, yeah. When you're a team full of criminals, somebody's going to be the star player.
Pac-Man Jones.
I mean, come on here, really.
You crumpled your paper away, but since we did...
I didn't crumple it away. I just set it to the side, sir.
Since against all odds, and or since a couple people did have a question about Caw, you know what? We'll answer the question when we come back after this.
Yep.
Hey, Nick Dinsmore here. Do you have the dream of becoming a pro wrestler? Well, I did, and I came to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. I'm a former WWE superstar, I'm a former 9-time Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight champion, and I can train you to be the best today. For all the information regarding the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class, go to ovwrestling.com and click on school. Join the Nick Dinsmore Pro Wrestling class today. ovwrestling.com, click on school.
And we're back with Triple Threat Talk, and the doctor had a question about from.
And usually Postmaster does ask the questions, but since we were kind of going to skip over this, but it is important because I know you have some strong feelings about it.
I do.
What does the future hold for Caw, and how bright is the future for Caw? I have been hearing mumblings of Skull closing its doors.
Okay, the future for Caw is bleak. I'll say here's how I'll give a brief summary of why Caw got so big in the year it did. 2007, 2008 it got big because WWE's product was bad. It was bad. Okay, you seen it with champion for like a year, and people were in the main event that didn't make sense, and you know, long story short, it was bad. So that's why CAW got popular, or Caw, whatever you want to call it. It was an alternative. It was something different. Rise of the Future, it's not good because, you know, like I said, at the time, 2007, you had DWA, you had SCAW, SMF, ICCW, UW, all at the same time, and that was amazing. Now, SMF is done. ICCW is gone. We're leaving at the end of the year. SCAW, I've heard he's leaving soon, so the future for CW is not good. I doubt you'll ever have a resurgence of it again where 4 or 5 shows just are just amazing and must-see internet TV, whatever you want to call it, but 2007 2008 was the best time for that stuff, and now it's just people are moving on, doing other things. I mean, it's time to close the door on this chapter of CAW, to be honest.
And you're looking at a period in CAW history where, and people have said this, I mean, people like email me on my Twitter or whatever, Facebook, that are fans of the show, and they say that the Lance Burton Open and interactive insurrection is the most anticipated thing they've seen in years.
Right, and people like the thing with the Evil Inc. or whatever you call it.
Evil Inc.
The stables, right.
We're still doing interesting stuff, but it's the culmination of writing. You have to put the writing into it. You know, if you get a good story, people may want to listen, but you got to make sure you got to keep them interested.
Like I said, it's a fad, guys. Fads go and fads come and they go. That's the thing. Will it come back? I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, but it's just that's the thing. It just goes. So.
Also from the Prototype 400, would you guys support Louisville, Kentucky getting a relocated NBA team? And there is a campaign.
Have you heard about that at all?
There is a campaign.
There's always a campaign going on for
the Sacramento Kings.
But here's the deal, and this is going to be me giving a rare compliment to U of L. Nobody wants to play second fiddle to the University of Louisville and the Yum Center.
No.
You don't want to do it,
especially if you're an NBA team.
Especially if you're an NBA team coming in next year.
Right.
What you have going on is this state is a college state. Murray State, Kentucky, U of L, Eastern, Western. Well, Indiana's.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. It's all
but yeah, this region is really a college. Morehead State.
Monica Lewinsky's college.
Whoa! I did not have sexual relations.
All right. The thing about it is, This city, this state is very, very entrenched in college basketball tradition. We did have a pro team before called the Kentucky Colonels. They won the ABA championship.
They were epic.
They were amazing. Some of the best basketball players to ever grace the court. They did win a championship. They were not nobodies. They were always in contention.
A lot of them were Kentucky
a lot of Kentucky players.
So they weren't just nobody. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, you had an amazing group of players. They, like I said, they were not nobodies. We've already proved what we have to prove.
Right.
In pro basketball.
Like, the thing is, it's like with Kentucky, because the team's so strong every year, everyone says, like, oh, can Kentucky beat the worst team in basketball? And in this case, they probably could. They could probably beat the Charlotte Bobcats up and down the floor. So.
But it's one of those things that I guarantee you, in the next 3 years, we will see the best basketball in the pros and in college be played right here in this state.
You know what? You know what I think, and call me crazy, not call me maybe. Call me crazy.
Hey, I know. Songs everywhere, man.
Bieber loves it. Bieber loves it.
So I don't think an NBA team would work.
No, it definitely.
No, well, I agree with him. I don't think it wants to play second fiddle to college.
And as huge of a market as we have,
we don't have a pro team.
As huge of a market as we have here for. An NFL team wouldn't work either, I don't think.
They don't have to be able to
I think the two things that would work, a Major League Baseball team could work. Because our minor league baseball is one of the top 5 attended baseball programs in the United States.
Louisville Bass games are awesome.
And they have a phenomenal stadium.
Absolutely.
It's well built. It's in the best spot possibly, right on the waterfront. And another thing I think we could support too.
You're going to say hockey.
Yes. And the reason why I say that is because hockey was, yet again, when it was here, was very well attended. The season ticket number for hockey was absolutely phenomenal. We just got, every time we'd get a good team, we'd have an idiot owner and they would ship them out of town, and you know. But I think NHL or MLB would work in the city.
I agree.
That would be the only thing that wouldn't, because college basketball and college football is so big, college-wise, in this state and in this area.
Collegiate sports, period.
Yes. I mean, people get jazzed up for a freaking U of L women's softball game or UK going for the golf championship or Murray State going for the swim title. People get all jazzed.
Yeah.
You don't see that everywhere.
I mean, as one of the best players ever in the history of Kentucky tennis, Quigley, people get hyped up about him. So I mean, that's the thing. So
from the son of Sis.
Son of Sis.
I know we're always answering questions about who's the best at this and who's the best at that.
This and that and the other.
Yeah. Who's the worst wrestler you've ever seen?
I hate this question because I've stated before, if you're in WWE, you're obviously good enough to be there. With that being said, worst wrestler?
Wrestler. Now,
are you saying wrestler or entertainer?
Yes, wrestler. Because let's keep in mind, you can't say Brooklyn Brawler because he was the greatest jobber ever. That was his job. I wasn't going to say Brooklyn Brawler. No, I'm just saying, that was his job. They paid him to be the worst jobber ever.
Worst wrestler?
Gilbert.
He was built that way too.
He was built that way too.
I would say Khali only because his size hurts him. I mean, it's not really his fault, but he's really limited what he can do because of the size. He's pretty bad. Other than that, I really can't think of one that's really bad, honestly. Like, awful.
I can't believe you didn't say Show.
He's not awful. I just don't like him. I respect the dude. He was good, and he was epic in WCW. Yeah, I'll give him that.
He was good.
But I don't like the position. I don't like the position he's in. That's all I'm saying.
I know what PostMaster's going to say. So
he agreed with me.
Yeah, he's going to agree with you, and I think I do too.
It's just it's great because like you can say like, oh, Santino sucks. Well, again, he's built that way. You can say this guy sucks. Well, they're built that way. So I mean,
from Dick Kenobi.
Richard Obi-Wan.
Yeah, if you want us to answer your question, I suggest you do it before.
Well, I did write it down for you, Kenobi. I did write it down. The question he posted was last episode, but it was a little bit late, so I did put it.
What do you guys think should face CM Punk for the title?
Well, right now it's with Daniel Bryan and Kane. We're going to preview No Way Out later on here tonight.
All right.
Who do I think, though?
Yeah.
I think you're going to get to a point, if this is what they're going to do, because I don't know, because they're starting to have some problems with him. They're saying maybe possibly Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I don't know if they're still going to do that, because they're really upset with him at this point, what I've been hearing. I don't know who Punk could face anymore. He's beaten everyone that's thrown in his way. He's fought Bryan. He's fought Kane.
Vader.
Vader's out of it now. I don't know. I don't know who they could get him to fight anymore. Honestly, who could beat him and take the title? Because he's been champion since last November. So
I know.
Yeah.
Somebody's not there yet, but it's going to be.
Yeah.
The DNA of TNA, Mr. The Blueprint, Matt Morgan.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Matt Morgan, I'm serious. You know daggone good.
Yeah, they really took him seriously last time.
That was his own fault.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't use him properly. I think they see how epic he is.
Okay,
and you know how Vince is about big guys.
He was until Michaels came along.
He gets his rocks off on big guys.
Look at his champions.
I know.
CM Punk.
Yeah, but usually,
right.
Normally Vince McMahon gets all slap happy and excited about the big guy.
I know.
Lincoln Broderick.
There you go. My point exactly. Big guy.
Anyway.
So AJ and CM Punk are dating, right?
I
guess. He digs crazy chicks.
She's a weirdo.
She is weird. I mean, she French kisses.
She's a couple fries short of a Happy Meal, that girl.
She's 2 cans short of a 6-pack.
Yeah, really.
I don't know what's going on.
Her elevator doesn't go to the top floor.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I think she's playing. We're getting to No Way Out later on, but I think she's playing somebody for a fool.
This next question, I don't care if it says just Big B. It's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
You're going to deal with it.
I know. I'm surprised.
Once again, he answered his own question. So
he pretty much listed them all.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
Except for one other epic movie.
All right.
Well, yeah, Rock of Ages, of course. That will be epic. Avengers, Dark Knight Rises, Amazing Spider-Man, and Men in Black 3. Who do you think will be the summer block? You just named them all.
Yeah, really. I mean, Avengers right now is it's on its way.
The third most gross movie of all time, behind Avatar and Titanic, which to this day
it blows my mind.
I know.
It's the boat.
Everybody knows the damn thing's gonna sink.
What? I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Shut up.
I had no idea. I was so surprised.
Really?
Avengers, Dark Knight Rises, and of course the second Avengers is going to be amazing. Because did y'all hear the news?
No.
You did not hear the news?
I saw your Facebook post.
Sony has given the okay for them to use Spider-Man and Wolverine in the second Avengers movie.
Then Avengers is smart. They will peg Tobey Maguire as the Spider-Man in the Avengers.
If they're rebranding and with Andrew Garfield, they're not going to do that.
That's a fail.
But
because this Spider-Man, I had no desire to see it.
I think with Avengers, it's obviously going to be the top at this point. And Dark Knight Rises is going to be very big. It's not going to be. I don't see it living up to the Dark Knight as much. Only because the reason Dark Knight was so good is because Heath Ledger was outstanding as the Joker. This will get a lot of money for this movie only because it's the last one they're making with Nolan and Bale as the team. So
Bale. All right, that wraps up viewer questions this week.
Views are 26 minutes.
Yes, I know.
That's a lot of questions.
We had a lot of questions and we had a lot of analytical comments today.
Analytics.
Yeah, so with that, I don't even know whose turn it is. So
I think it's mine.
It was mine last week, so I think it's his.
Yeah.
Well, you went last week, so it's my turn. And then it goes to you.
Okay.
So I
you're back this week. You pick me.
So I guess this week we will anoint a person that we answered several questions from.
For the fourth week in a row.
Is it really? Yeah. All right, we should give this guy something. For the fourth week in a row, Buckin' 5, you are this week's Triple Threat Talk Viewer of the Week.
First time for everything.
Fourth week in a row. That's absolutely amazing.
I don't know what your real name is, but get on that Facebook. Like Triple Threat Talk on Facebook. You might be the 100th like. You get something out of it.
Yeah,
and I gotta say one thing real quick.
Yes.
To DJ Becker. Stop phishing our site.
Spamming.
Stop spamming our site. No, I'm kidding. Start asking questions again, man. Come on.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
What's up with?
So this week we had a lot of stuff going on.
Whoa.
What?
You forgot your thing.
I'm getting to that. Okay. Don't stop me.
Don't stop.
Stop it.
Yes. We had a lot of stuff going on from the Stanley Cup playoffs. Sorry, Big B.
Hey.
You had the French Open finals.
Rain delay of glory.
You had the NBA finals set to kick off. We apparently aren't going to have another.
No.
And
thanks for stealing my Facebook post.
You were not the only one to say that, I hate to tell you. But anyway, here we had a boxing match that apparently didn't end quite so
very controversial. Absolutely.
We had a shooting that we don't like to talk about, but we're going to talk about.
Why are you going through my headlines?
Let me finish.
Let him go.
Gosh.
We're getting close to commercial here too.
And we also have NASCAR from Pocono as they trek their way through the TNT Summer Series. Their first of 6 races on the TNT network. So, Big B, if you would please, we got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to waste, so take it away. Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah. See? She blew a sail, see? Yeah.
So, Auburn shooting, they did arrest a guy today, Desmonte Leonard, who's the primary suspect, charged with 3 counts of murder after he killed 3 people, 2 of which are former Auburn football players at a pool party on Sunday. This kind of thing sucks. It's a college campus. Guns and drugs do not belong on a college campus.
Nothing belongs like that. Drugs don't belong. I know people do it.
Yeah, drugs don't belong, but they get there.
Yeah, this kind of thing is just ridiculous. Yeah. Whatever happened to being a man? Taking your problems up with your fists. Yeah, guns are a coward's way out. They really are. Bam. What's the fun in that?
Where have you been living the last 20 years?
I saw your Facebook post this morning, and I just laughed. I'm like, really? I mean, Gary, do you not watch the news? They don't report good news.
Before he runs a commercial real quick, I have a point to make before he runs a commercial. My mom was telling me about this guy who was walking across America, and he was going to try to find the good in America. He went up to some guy's truck to talk to him, and he shot him. He didn't die, but he shot him. There's no good in America. I'm sorry. You can't find it anywhere. So when we come back, we're talking about the Triple Crown that was not, and we'll be right back with more Triple Threat Talk.
Nobody does what Papa John's does.
You choose. For just $10, get a large pizza with your choice of any 2 toppings. That's Papa John's quality for just $10. Or for just $2 more, get any large pizza, even specialties. Plus, earn free pizza fast with Papa Rewards when you order at papajohns.com. Get a large pizza with your choice of any 2 toppings for just $10. Or for just $2 more, get any large pizza.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. I am Postmaster Jones, along with my esteemed co-host, the Doctor, and the Cody Rhodes Jr. down there on the other end.
I have a name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
CRJ.
Yeah, CRJ. I like it.
All right.
So we were talking about shooting and drugs and murder and all that. I feel like we're the news at 10.
No.
Gilbert Corsi.
But yeah,
he's the news at 4 o'clock.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, come on, people. Take it up with your fist. Be a man. Don't be a coward. The Kings won the Stanley Cup in a franchise first with the series overall 4-2. The final score being 6-1.
Again, I told him, and this is the truth. Technically, even though the score said 6-1, technically it was 4-1.
No, there's no technical.
The last 2 goals.
The scoreboard says, and I quote,
scoreboard
6-1.
Technically, there was no goal either, so then you could have scored a goal.
It doesn't matter. What do they call that? A power play? I mean, come on.
It's an empty net goal, but it counts.
I know it counts.
It counts.
But bro,
they don't say 4 with asterisks.
Yeah. What's the difference? They won anyway.
Well, don't sit there and go, well, it was 6-1, but it wasn't really 6-1.
Guess what?
They won anyway.
Guess what? 4-1 is still a shellacking.
Okay.
In hockey, 4-1 is shellacking.
But I'll say this: the Devils played better than I thought they would. They handed the Kings their first loss on the first loss.
Hey,
I'm saving time here.
They are who they thought they were.
We let them off the ice.
That's right.
But they gave the Kings their first loss on the road, which is good for them. They didn't get shellacked like I thought they would.
They did get slapped.
No. I don't mean like slapped or anything. They was like 4-1. They just won 2 games.
Oh my goodness, you're killing me, Smalls.
So Friday we all woke up and got some very disheartening news. I'll have another was scratched early Friday from the Belmont Stakes.
It's not meant to happen.
It's poetic justice is what it is. It's poetic justice. Karma is a bee's niche.
Okay, my name is Earl.
Well, it is. I'm sorry.
I just, you know, this horse though was clean. He was fine. Why take it out on America? I mean, everybody wants to see this happen. Everybody. I don't care who it is. Like I said,
it doesn't matter. When you cheat, I don't want to see you win.
He didn't cheat with this horse.
It doesn't matter. He cheated with his other horses. He got caught. He was suspended.
It's not that simple though, because this is something America wants, and this is something, frankly, the horse industry needs. You, as a fellow horse racing aficionado, need to see this. This sport needs this.
I don't want to see a cheater.
He's not cheating.
The trainer's a cheater.
It doesn't matter.
He'll be forever associated as a cheater, though.
I sort of agree with him. Well, because, yeah, I'll have another may not have had something, but you could look at it back, like, not now. Like, say he did run on the Belmont and he did win. Okay, he did win, but, and then all his glory, woo, I'll have another first Triple Crown winner since 1978 affirmed, maybe like 2 or 3 years down the road. Well, you know, remember his trainer did some kind of legal thing, so you don't know what could happen.
Yes.
Exactly my point.
I mean, I mean, it's the point of, like I told you before, I feel bad for the horse, and I feel bad for the young jockey. I don't feel bad for the trainer, because once a cheater, always a cheater.
I mean, it's not that I feel bad for Doug O'Neill. I don't. I want to see a Triple Crown winner. Like I said, I wouldn't care if they were owned by the Steelers and trained by, you know, the Duke, you know, the Duke team, you know, Mike Krzyzewski and the Dukies.
Is that every time he is?
I'm just saying. The two people I hate most, I wouldn't care if they train this horse, because this is something America needs.
That may be the case, but what I'm saying is they actually did a good thing, because they even said we could have ran him.
Could have, but they didn't.
But they didn't.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, because then it would have been 8 bells all over.
I think the thing is,
I did that. I forever take blame for that.
If he ran, then I'd put him down.
I'd forever take blame, because before that race I said that horse won't make it across the finish line.
Oh my God!
and I, when that happened, I was like, oh sweet God.
Oh my God. You must have felt like the worst person in the world.
I did. I felt horrible.
You must have felt lower than low. Oh.
Dude, I felt absolutely.
Did your head turn into a donkey head like the cartoon?
It was like,
oh my God. Oh my God. If I knew you back then, I would have smacked you. Oh my God.
Wow. With that, we go to a little bit of
more cheating,
more controversy. I wouldn't say it's cheating.
This is ridiculous.
Timothy Bradley. So, what happens when a guy gets his arse utterly kicked for 10 rounds and still happens at the end? What happens? What happens when the guy gets his arse kicked?
He wins.
He wins! Who knew that?
So wait. So like, it's like a squash match.
Yeah,
it's like John
squash match.
It's John Cena.
So Timothy Bradley wins after 2 judges apparently may not have been watching the same fight as everybody.
This blew up everywhere.
What fight were you watching?
On Twitter, everywhere, people were like, really? This is the worst thing that ever happened in boxing?
No, it's not.
I kid you not. After this happened, Twitter...
No, Mike Tyson biting the earlobe off of somebody's face is the worst thing that happened.
Zombie! He's the first zombie, yeah. I was going to say, though, for at least a good hour, hashtag RIP boxing was trending on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean... This is ridiculous. Whether the argument here isn't whether or not boxing is fixed. A lot of people are taking it that way.
Right.
I'm not going to take it that way, because this to me signifies that people are getting on. When you have 2 70-year-old judges, I mean, come on, really? You have to dig 70-year-old judges.
On round 2.
You have to dig for 70-year-old judges to get that much experience to judge this fight.
It says Bradley 115.
Come on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know that these judges were esteemed, but even the female, even the young lady that had 7-5 in favor of Pacquiao was not watching the same fight. I mean, are you serious?
And this thing is
9-2 and 10-1.
It's bad only because of 2 things. One, there was already a rematch planned for November before the fight, which is kind of weird.
Now they're not going to fight each other.
Now they're not going to fight. Bob Arum wants an investigation. The WBO is going to investigate it. So if they investigate it and they have, 2 of these, they're probably going to reverse it.
I mean, and here's the thing, too. The thing I don't agree with that this fight was fixed was because Vegas took a bath. Nobody won on this fight. Nobody. The promoter was very ticked. He was extremely mad. everybody in the arena was utterly, excuse my language, pissed off. Yeah. Everybody was just angry. Vegas did not. I don't think they might have cashed maybe 100 tickets. Nobody won on this fight. That's why I don't think it was fixed. It couldn't have been.
And the thing is about this now, and it's
but if everybody was betting Pacquiao, then they cleaned up.
I guess.
Duh.
Yeah.
But I think Vegas cleaned up.
Yeah.
But the thing, like,
they took a bath.
There was an Irish sports book that gave full refunds on the fight.
Right.
It was ridiculous.
And another thing about this is people were talking about, like, oh, how does this affect the fight with Mayweather? Well, I heard today that somehow Mayweather got some kind of injury in jail, and he might not ever box again. So
we warned Mayweather not to drop the soap.
More yes than no. More no than yes. It looks like Pacquiao and Mayweather will never happen.
And then, like I said, the reason and I should clarify, you're right, if people are betting on Pacquiao, nobody took a bet. Right. Why Vegas took a bath on this was all the promotion that they did for this, all the grandeur, all the glory, the people coming in, spending money on this, who were angry after this. I mean, Vegas was scarred because of this. So, I mean, this is a huge thing, and we haven't heard the end of it.
No.
But that does it for headlines. Of course, what about the finals and all that? So that's coming up. We're going to cover the finals in a minute. Yeah. But at first, before that, I think PostMaster's got some stuff to say about NASCAR.
Well, actually,
it was a rare thing in NASCAR this week. Very rare.
What was rare about it?
The pole person won.
Well, that does happen.
Yeah,
It's not that it was rare from the standpoint. I mean, it does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen. But anyway, Joey Logano, with a little intimidation move, might have got Mark Martin a little squirrely, a little sideways. But either way, he got him out of his way and went on to win. Only his second career win, and a big win for Joey, being a contract year for Logano. This is his last year in contract to drive the number 20 Home Depot Toyota. For Joe Gibbs Racing, so this definitely could put a feather in his cap for them to re-sign him and keep him on board at Joe Gibbs Racing. It was the first race on the new pavement at Pocono. One thing that got me all year for the whole NASCAR season up till now, we've only had like maybe 15 speeding penalties. And when you're like, what the hell is NASCAR speeding?
I think it's speeding penalty.
And that is when there is a speed limit on pit road that you have to abide by for safety of the drivers and the crew and the officials, blah, blah. Well, we had a record. We had 22 speeding penalties this past Sunday. Not 2, 22. It was ridiculous. Some of the drivers were complaining and said, oh, NASCAR's screwing up. It's got to be their fault. Got to be their fault. There was, but apparently it wasn't. Obviously, these guys kept breaking the rules, and it was kind of an oddly run race. It was probably they said the best race at Pocono in years. They did a good thing. They shortened the race by 100 miles. It's now the Pocono 400 instead of the 500. There was a lot of passing. At one point, they even went 7 wide, and I was like, "Holy cow, 7 wide! I don't think I've ever seen 7 wide." You know. So it was good from that aspect, but Joe Logano did win. Mark Martin, the grandpa of the sport, finished second. Smoke Show, Tony Stewart ran third, and a good week for him after the last couple dismal weeks. He put on a good show. Interesting to note, Kurt Busch was suspended from this past week's race. He decided to basically tell a reporter, I'm going to whip your ass on TV. Not a good thing. And after all the incidents he's been and all the trouble he's been, including 3 run-ins with the reporter last year, NASCAR had enough and said,
Kurt Busch, I'm going to comment. I'm going to whoop your ass. Now, back to you, Tom.
Now, it gets better.
Really? Better than that?
It gets better than this, okay? So, you're suspended for the week, and the company he drives for is a middle-of-the-pack company. They're not very well funded. They're good, they're funded enough, but they need help. So, Kurt Busch is a bad boy. It's pretty obvious. He's threatening that he wants to fight reporters and beat them up on pit road. And they need sponsorship. So, ladies and gentlemen, apparently there is a deal in the works and a good possibility that now Kurt Busch will drive the number 51 Phoenix Racing Chevrolet, sponsored by, yes, you've guessed it, the Jerry Springer Show. I am not Jerry. I am not making this up.
So is his chair gonna be bolted down, or can he pick it up?
I don't know. But we'll see where that goes. This is definitely an interesting topic. A lot of people are saying that's bad for the sport.
Good for Jerry Springer.
I'm thinking no, because I mean, face it, NASCAR most times than not is pegged with a bunch of beer drinking, rednecking idiots that watch the. That's what it gets a bad rap.
You deserve one for an
Yes. Anyway, that's what it gets a bad rap for, and it shouldn't, but it does. And so I think it's a great idea. I mean, like you said, good for Jerry Springer, good for that team. I mean, that team's always looking for money to get, go to the track, so he's not dumping money out of his pocket. So they move on to Michigan this week. Another track that has just been newly repaved. So for the second week in a row, they'll go to a track with a new surface.
So maybe we'll see 23 speeding penalties.
It's very possible. Might break another record.
It'd be awesome.
Be a little bit more going left.
Breaking records.
Breaking records?
We're breaking a record!
Oh, and by the way, since I wasn't here last week due to illness, I know you, and this kind of segues into our next topic. I know you kind of channeled me a little bit, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The U.S. Open kicks off this week.
The golf U.S. Open.
Yes, not to be with the failure of a tennis U.S. Open.
With the stupid
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about the real U.S. Open.
U.S. Open. And we'll actually get into that after the break.
I'm Alex Silva, and you are watching Triple Threat Talk. Uh-oh!
And we are back, and Postmaster was ready to segue us into the real U.S. Open.
Yes, not the
not the fake
racket and green ball U.S. Open.
They're yellow.
Whatever.
Need to see a doctor then.
Anyway.
But yeah,
U.S. Open.
So what were your thoughts on Tiger that you were going to get into, since I was channeling you a little bit,
well,
but kind of debunked everything you could possibly say?
Well, you kind of went a little where I would go, because Big B went as far and as drastic as to say, oh God, he's back, he's the number one, he's the greatest ever. No. I would have said, and I quote, kind of what he said, in the fact that he won a tournament, he played very well. The tournament he won this time was a better field than the tournament he won last time.
Slightly.
It was a better field. I totally disagree with the fact that Ricky Fowler would have won if he had a bad round. I don't think so. I think it might have went to a playoff, because Tiger would have still gained 2 shots, and I think Tiger would have got him in the end regardless.
I just can't see that argument, but I'm going to let you finish your point, because you weren't here last week.
Right. But I think it makes him the favorite to win the U.S. Open. Not saying he's going to. I'm not saying he's number one. I'm saying with his win and with the way he was putting and the way he was swinging his irons, he looked very good. And I see no reason why. And as a matter of fact, Vegas sees the same thing I do. That's why Tiger Woods is the favorite to win the. I think he's like 5 or 6 to 1. And I would not be a least bit surprised if he gets another win, because, yeah, he won the tournament, 2 weeks ago.
Jack Nicklaus tournament.
So that not only does that beat the record, right?
Tied
the record.
It ties the most wins, but he's still far off of the majors.
Right.
He's still like 4 or 5 away from the majors.
Well, he could. This could be really give him some momentum, because he could win this week, break the most win streak, have the clear-cut most.
Break 74.
He could break and be the all-time win leader on this sport, and be one step closer to tying the record. It's a lot of money. There's enough on the plate, and there's enough momentum and enough fuel in the tank for him to go get that, and I think it's why he should be the favorite this week.
I don't think he's so much the favorite this week. I think when you talk the favorites at the U.S. Open, you've got to talk Rory McIlroy, Lee Westwood, and
Phil Mickelson.
Phil Mickelson doesn't really come up very much like he should. He really shows like what in the kind of tournaments that Tiger won last week. I think Bubba Watson is also, and Ricky Fowler. I think those are your favorites. I think Ricky Fowler has definitely got something to prove. He knows, and like I said, this is where I disagree with you. He knows that everyone else knows that had he not had a bad day, he would have won that tournament. I mean, he just had a bad day. I mean, you know, we've seen Tiger go out there before all this happened, like when he first tore his ACL. He had to withdraw. Clearly, that day Tiger had a bad day. So I mean, if you're gonna give Tiger Woods a bad day, you gotta give Ricky Fowler a bad day.
It's the red shirt.
I
promise you, it's the red shirt.
I think that Ricky Fowler just Ricky Bobby had himself a bad day. No, I think Ricky Fowler just had a bad day. But like Postmaster said, Vegas does view Tiger Woods as the favorite. In my mind, though, if I had to pick somebody right now, I would actually say Ricky Fowler to win the U.S. Open.
All right. So from one Open to the next, we wrap up the French Open.
Yeah. Finally.
Are you kidding me? You have got to be kidding.
I know.
Right?
What?
You know, he's talking tennis. You have got to be kidding.
I made a transition for that. French Open Finals did finish on Sunday. Rain delay and all. Nadal did win his 7th French Open, which gives him the most wins on that surface, passing the great Bjorn Borg. So statistically, please, you're not that stupid. Nadal statistically is the greatest. Nadal statistically the greatest clay court player of this generation and probably ever. But I did agree with Nadal to an extent where they were playing with the clay they play on the French Open. Where when it rains, they can play on the clay. It can get a little moist, so they can still play when it was raining. But after a course of time, the clay builds up enough moisture where it's difficult to play on.
Is it like mud?
It's like slick. They slip on it. He really couldn't get his footing, and eventually the rain kept falling, whatever, and then the tournament.
His finger.
Did he wear protection?
I'll make fun of your topics.
We're not making fun.
We're not making fun of it.
But enough moisture built up on the court, the tournament director had to call it due to rain delay, and I kind of agree with Nadal. He was, very frustrated, which I could attest to. He was saying, why didn't you take us off the court earlier? I can't hit the ball. I can't move on this court. It makes no sense. And I agree with him. I don't know why they waited to a certain point to get off the court, because Nadal was up at 1 point, 2-9 and 2 in the third. So, okay, routine victory for Nadal. And then something, Djokovic just woke up and strung 8 straight games and then Nadal was down 2-1 in the fourth. And they said, rain delay, let's call this off, which made no sense. But Nadal ends up winning the match in 4 sets. Djokovic loses on a horrible double fault. What a horrible way to lose, not just a match, but a Grand Slam in general. Tough break for Djokovic, because with Nadal, he could have won his 7th Grand Slam at the French Open next year, the year after. You only get a very small chances in your career to win a career Grand Slam, a calendar Grand Slam, win all 4 majors at one time. It's only been done by 2 players, Rod Laver and Don Budge. Djokovic trying to join that illustrious group. He didn't get it done. It was a heartbreaking loss for Djokovic. It's a shame, he's going to fight. He's still the #1 player in the world. He's still up there. So we'll see what happens when he goes to Wimbledon, which I'm going to cover next week. The tournament that's going right now is the Aegon Championship, the big one, the Aegon Championship, which is in Queen's Club. And I told him before the show, I don't know if this means anything or not, because this is like the pre-match tournament before Wimbledon. Murray lost today, which is bad. Roddick lost today. Roddick's on the way out. I think Roddick might start dwindling in his career down. He's towards the end of his career. But Murray losing at this tournament is very bad. The second round, he did lose to a player, Nicholas Mahut, who's very good. You all know he played that marathon match with John Isner a few years back. But we'll see who the favorites are next week when I preview Wimbledon. So.
And now to talk about the big news. The big news.
Big news.
The Heat went down.
Yep.
It is NBA Finals time, ladies and gentlemen. This is really the only time I watch the NBA. I'm not sure about you guys, but
I watch the playoffs.
Regular season, they just pull themselves out of bed.
I watch the playoffs.
Go to a game.
Time to play. Okay.
We playing a game now? Yeah.
They got
all right. Yay. So the NBA Finals, after blowing out the Celtics for the last 2 games, the latter being due to questionable coaching by otherwise brilliant Doc Rivers. I will go into that in a minute. The Heat move on to take Oklahoma, who does hold home court. So the first 2 and the last 2 should have go to 7 or play in OKC. Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Justified.
OKC does win Game 1, 105-94, absolutely shellacking the Heat.
Heat were slacking them for a while.
The Heat were slacking them for a little bit as well. Well, I want to go back in reverse to talk about this Boston game, Game 7. I want to talk about Doc Rivers' move. No one on that Celtics team cost them the match except for Doc Rivers. Of course, with his excellent resume.
They're wrestling now.
Yeah. Kevin Garnett battles LeBron James in a cage of death.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers, who usually is a very brilliant coach, 99.999% of the time, he's one of the few that I can say that about. He made a questionable move to pull coverage from LeBron James and tempt him to shoot. What you want to do with LeBron James is you don't want to open up the lane for LeBron James. So by taking a player away and trying to dare LeBron for shooting from the outside, guess what? When you take that center player out from underneath the rim, LeBron's going to find a way in there. And I think that's what the big mistake was that cost Boston the game in Game 7 was personnel changes that really should not have been made, the way they were covering LeBron. Because if you look at it, the last 8 minutes, it was a 1-point game in favor of the Heat.
Yeah.
So, and at that point, Doc Rivers makes a coaching adjustment. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Doc. I mean, come on. Even I know that, and I'm nowhere near your knowledge level of basketball. You don't pull somebody when you LeBron James has a history in this situation of not coming up, and we saw that a little bit last night actually in Game 1.
Right.
We saw that a little bit in Game 1, and he just doesn't come up very big in the fourth quarter.
Dwayne Wade needs to step up too.
He was
bad last night. 7 of 19. They needed him to step up.
I mean. Yeah,
he's been bad for the last 3 games.
If their main 3, Bosh, James, and Wade, aren't a cohesive unit, they're going down to 4 games.
That is true.
They're done like dinner.
But Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook are just phenomenal. I mean, OKC's going to win this.
If you didn't think they were strong before the playoffs, think about this. 4 straight against the Spurs. They won 20 straight before entering the playoffs. The Thunder's like, oh, easy, 4 games straight. See ya.
And before anybody questions this, the difference between playing in the West and the East is this. The West this year, Oklahoma City, and the entire NBA had the 3rd hardest schedule in the NBA. The Heat had the 18th hardest schedule in the NBA. They're going to get taken to school. I see this thing ending in 5.
What did we say? We said from the beginning it would be Thunder Heat. And I said Thunder in 6. He says in 5. I think the Thunder are winning. They're winning this thing regardless.
They're winning tomorrow night. They're going to win Game 2. They're going to steal one at Miami. They're going to close this thing out in Miami.
I'd like them to close it out in Oklahoma City. I really would. I'm an advocate of that. Whereas, you're going to win a championship. I'd like to see the team win home because it's so disheartening. Like, for example, say last 2 games, let's say LA won in Jersey, it wouldn't have been as in fact. The Devils fans don't care if the LA wins in Jersey. They don't care. Right. The same thing with this. I'd like to see Oklahoma City win.
But if you're about ready to win your championship.
Right. I know the players don't care. But the fans would be like, it makes it more special, like if they win the title in their town. Because Miami, they're passionate about that team. If Oklahoma City wins in Miami, you're going to hear a lot of boos. You might hear some cheers from the passionate fans.
Yay! Boo! Yay! Boo! Yay!
You were kind of quiet there. You got anything to add, or did we cover pretty much everything?
Well, you all covered it pretty good. I mean, you all have said from the beginning that Oklahoma would win. Yeah. Even though the Heat lost, I don't think it's going to be in 5 games. I don't. As a matter of fact, I think this could potentially go 7. And you all don't think are giving enough credit to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. I don't think because I think that the Miami Heat have a better cast of characters outside of the big 3. Whereas OKC, if the big 3 aren't performing like James Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, if they're not performing, they don't win. If Durant really isn't playing out of his mind, they usually don't win. And I think that in the end, the Miami Heat's depth, and they have Shane Battier and Mike
Yeah, but when you take James Harden off the bench, I'm going to take James Harden 100% of the time over Shane Battier off the bench. Yeah, I'm going to.
But
Battier's a good three-point shooter.
But you're missing the point here. I'm including James Harden as one of the big three.
Right, but he comes off the bench.
He's still one of the big three.
He might be one of their big three.
He's still one of their big three. Yes, I think. It could go potentially 7 games. I think it's a toss-up. I think the Heat are going to come back and win. I know they lost game 1.
And they had a chance to come back and they got blown out.
Yeah. And I know you all think the Thunder are just too great, but I think the Heat are tired of hearing it. And I know they lost game 1, but they're tired of hearing all the criticism of... And I know they did it to themselves. It's all self-inflicted.
Don't take them out of talents to self-beat.
And, we're going to win 4, not 5, not 6, 7. We're going to,
Where's your ring at?
It's all self-inflicted. I get that. I get that. It is. I understand. But the point is, I think it goes 7 games. I think we're going to get a very entertaining series, and I would not be the least bit surprised if Miami squeaks this one out.
We'll see.
Just a quick note before we go to the break. The game last night pulled a 12 in the ratings, which is like an NFL game. That's the power of LeBron James.
Well, I'm telling you, Oklahoma City's good too because they want to see this team in the finals.
And also, Cleveland was the 5th largest market.
Cleveland. Let's go Supersonics.
Who?
Triple Threat Talk.
We'll be right back.
This is Michael Hayes, and you're watching Triple Threat Talk.
And welcome back here on Triple Threat Talk. And before the break, we said go Supersonics as a joke, as most people know that the Oklahoma City Thunder used to be the Supersonics.
Go Gary Payton.
Go Sean Kemp.
Did you see the Photoshop picture of what could have been? It's got LeBron James, and then it's got a Kemp in a Supersonics outfit.
No, I didn't see that.
Speaking of Photoshop, that was actually pretty epic. WWE put this out yesterday. They had Thunder versus Heat. They had the logo from WCW Thunder and their versus Sunday Night Heat.
It was awesome. I saw that. Yeah. So that covers sports this week.
Speaking of wrestling.
It's now time for our weekly Ohio Valley wrestling coverage.
As you're going to see, and I do want to get this taken seriously. It's a very controversial interview. Actually, the interview itself went well. Up into a point. Let's see if you can figure it out. Check it out. Welcome, Triple Threat Talk fans. You are with the Doctor, and I, in turn, am with Josh Ashcraft. How are you, Mr. Ashcraft?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I can't complain. Basically, I want to just get your opinion a little bit on what's going on here in OVW with the situation with your mentor, but not really so much your friend anymore, one Mr. Chris Sharp.
Chris Sharp is the man that taught me everything I know about being a referee, and for some reason he turned his back on Danny Davis and Ohio Valley Wrestling, and in turn he turned his back on all the fans. I honestly don't know what's going on with Chris at this point. I don't know what they did to get into his head. I don't know what they offered him to do this. Frankly, I don't know who he is anymore, and I really don't care anymore. Anybody that would do that is no friend of mine.
Now, it's one of those things. When you talk about that, you were with us on a sit-down interview that we conducted with Sharp shortly before this had happened, and I had kind of maybe thought that this might have been a little bit, but not really, kind of. When you were there with that, when you were backing up his statement saying now that, looking back with your statement saying that you would not have changed a thing on how he called that match, when you look back there and now you know that Chris might have had this thought in the back of his head, do you remember that night? Do you recall that Trailer Park Trash Rob Terry match? And would you now, are you thinking you might have done a couple things differently?
You know, at the time, I agreed with what Chris had done because he did what any of us would have done. He counted the 3. That's our job. That's what we're here for. But in retrospect, something was fishy about that from the get-go. I just had a weird vibe about him for about a week prior. He just didn't seem like himself. You know what? Now, looking at it, hindsight's always 20/20. I probably would have done something different.
Josh, I don't mean to interrupt you, Josh Fartcraft, but you're a referee, not someone to be interviewed, okay? You have a job to do, so I just get started right now. Okay?
Oh, is that how it is?
Yeah.
Is that how it's going to be?
Yeah. Because Josette has a show to run. Whether it be an evaluator or not.
Josette has a show to run.
Yeah. You're still going to listen.
Yeah, that evaluation, I think I might know how to win. Really? Really?
Something's going on over there, and I don't like it.
I mean, we were forced to stop filming at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I like the family as much as the next guy, but this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
they threw us out.
I mean, they threw us out. I mean, you know, Sharp is... He's
a friend of ours.
Yeah, he's a friend. I think, though, that what's going on with Sharp is... Yeah, I don't think it was us. I think it was Josh. The fact that we were kind of maybe stealing Sharp's thunder a little bit.
He's already on the show. He's on the show twice.
He's been on the show twice. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it was so much towards us as it was towards Josh. Right. So yeah. I mean, but definitely Josh is definitely an overdue interview for sure, regardless of how it ended. If everything goes through next week, we'll have another overdue interview.
Not just an awesome guy in OVW, but an awesome friend of the show.
Yeah, he's an awesome friend of the show. And I know, how do you guys like Chris Sharp and Josh? Well, I mean, you know, it's just like, these things can happen.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
So, I mean...
It's kind of like, how does Big B like Cody Rhodes?
We'll never know.
I don't know. We'll never know. Nobody knows.
But we want to thank OVW. We want to thank Barry Toady.
Why are you running the Belmont, Bodie?
We want to thank Terry Bodie. We want to thank OVW for everything they do for us each and every week.
We totally forgot in all the hooey and the hogwash.
Union Rags.
Union Rags. Did win the Belmont.
Union Rags didn't let that win the
It was a close race. He edged out Dullahan.
How do you think Bob Baffert felt losing 3 races the exact same way?
He's got to be like, this sucks. We got it.
We don't got it.
But yeah, we do want to thank Terry Bodie.
Sorry about that. I had to include that in. I totally forgot.
Of course, thank Josh. We want to thank everybody at OVW who puts up with us.
We want to thank the package Chris Sharp
for ruining our interview.
Childish things.
I appreciate that. Not really Sharp. How dare you? But Big B, tell us about OVW last week.
Well, let's see. At the start of the show is, as always it is, OVW versus Joe VW. And Joe's in announcements from, we all know, the travesty and Saturday Night Special.
Oh, God.
Everyone lost their belts except for Rob Terry, as we predicted. But Joe said, you know what? All my family members are getting their rematches here tonight. So, Rudy Switchblade and
Jesse got her.
Did get the rematch against Shiloh Jones and Rudo Raul Lamada.
I'm Rudo Raul Lamada.
For the Southern Tag Team titles, and your winners and new Southern Tag Team champions.
Best team ever!
Rudy Switchblade and
Jesse got her.
Retain their titles. This thing had me.
They set a record.
Right, really?
Yes, they had a thing. Forget the website, and I'm sorry for not being able to remember that. But for the most title wins in a short span, Jesse and Rudy set a record.
Pretty good. And then this had me so baffled, and oh my God, what's going on here? We have,
and after earlier, I'm really baffled.
We have a true moment in Paradise.
Oh yeah,
Paradise got on one knee where I thought he was going to maybe T-bar or something. No, he asked Espinosa to be his partner. What does that mean?
I guess it means they're going to be partners.
Partners or partners?
I guess they're going to move to Connecticut.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Chris. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
And we saw
Chris, you're out of the loop.
And we saw Paradise tonight. Let's just say, yeah.
Sorry, Chris.
He looked lovely, by the way. James, you looked lovely.
James, you looked absolutely phenomenal, honey. Let me tell you, it's beautiful.
All right. Anyway, so
they're the ones saying. I want to take note. They're the ones saying.
Mr. Six
is now 7. Despite what happened, he's still 7.
He took on all events here for the title, and he picked his way thanks to Chris Sharp. And after the match, Ken Wayne, board director, remember?
Win Kane.
Thank you. Came out to clear some things up.
He's a nightmare.
He took the title away from Ali, so possibly not 7.
No, the title has been vacated.
Yep.
We do not have a television champion now.
But Ali still won it, therefore it's 7.
And coming up this week, there will be a major decision regarding the board of directors.
Maybe they're going to fire Chris Sharp. I hope so.
That's pretty much.
Why? He's a friend of ours.
I don't care. His shenanigans and tomfoolery are through the roof.
I pretty much said it for OVW this week. Check them out on channel 138 WKYI if you have Insight
Kind of had a weird schedule this week.
Time Warner Cable, sorry, not Insight anymore, it's Time Warner Cable on channel 138.
Screw Time Warner.
We got WDRB back. Also, you can check out OV Wrestling. You can check out OVWrestling.com for more details. Also, I want to give a quick shout out and congratulations to a good friend of the show, Mr. Gilbert Corsi, who was nominated for 4 Emmys. Congratulations, Gilbert! Well deserved. Well deserved, Gilbert. Hope you win not just one, but all 4 of them. So.
That way we can start saying it. 4, 4, 4,
Emmy. Alright, but now move on to WWE.
Do we have to?
Well, this actually makes sense. This brings something up. I usually don't talk about SmackDown. Last week we had a huge debate. We didn't really talk about anything.
Dax sound.
But, yeah, Dax. Anyway, I usually don't talk about SmackDown, but this week, something relevant happened. Del Rio took on the great Charlie.
The worst wrestler in history.
Right? And the match, he apparently got a concussion, which, in case, took him out of the match with Sheamus for the world title. So now Sheamus has no opponent at this point.
Sheamus!
No. No.
He's a lobster head.
We're moving on to Raw, where he did get an opponent.
But here's the thing about Raw, though. Raw did very well this week because of, I think McMahon helped it out. They got
Somebody came back this week.
3.2, 3.3.
Vinnie Mac.
The thing with Brodus Clay was hilarious. Zack Ryder was great.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
They were all hilarious. They were all hilarious.
Zack Ryder's face was up.
Woo, 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 you know. But, yeah. The man came back in the 3-hour Raw. So Lawrence, if he didn't impress, he would fire him. I've been impressed by Lawrence since he debuted. So I don't know what. Well, I was impressed with him. He was like, you know, part of that dude group with the skateboards and all that stuff.
I wasn't even impressed
with the mullet and everything.
How can you remember that?
Yeah, they have footage.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So they have footage. So what?
So since Del Rio is out of the picture, no more
Del Rio.
So yeah, there was a 4-way match to determine the number 1 contender for the title. You had Christian, Intercontinental Champion, which is good. The Great Khali.
Wait a minute.
Jack.
Wait a minute.
Swagger. What?
Did my eyes besiege me? Was I seeing things? Because I swore I saw Christian on the TNA pay-per-view Sunday.
Your eyes didn't deceive you.
What was up with that?
I'll tell you what happened real quick. When Ric Flair was at the Hall of Fame.
You know about this?
No. Ric Flair.
Yeah, Christian was actually, all kidding aside, he really was on the TNA pay-per-view Sunday. No joke.
When Ric Flair was at the Hall of Fame ceremony for WrestleMania this last year, TNA wasn't too happy about it, so they made some kind of deal where they wanted someone from WWE to be at the TNA anniversary. It was their 10-year anniversary, and they picked Christian. And I actually just found this out the other day. Christian did not want to be there, to be honest with you. He did not want to be there. He was happy to see all the guys in the back, but he generally did not want to be there. So he was. I guess he was.
So what was he there for?
He was just there to promote. All he did pretty much is get in the ring, say it's great to see TNA be around for 10 years. And he introduced the top #1 moment that TNA's had for the 10 years was Sting coming back in 2006. So that was pretty much it. So Christian didn't want to be there. He was forced to. That's the business, guys. So getting back to that match.
Dims the brakes.
Yeah, it's Christian, the Great Khali, Jack Swagger,
spit on me and give me another Cheeto.
Dolph Ziggler, and the right person won this match, and it was Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler wins now. He's #1 contender for.
And then, guys, then it was time.
It was time.
It was time
for Frankie's Dead.
Yes. Boy Meets World. Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. 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 Frankie's dead. Frankie's dead. Frankie's dead.
Mr. Fiend. Mr. Fiend. Mr.
He is dead.
What? No, he's not. He's not. That's a fail.
All right, so then it was time. Vader coming back to face the one-man rock band.
No.
No.
He's the one-man Southern rock band. Heath Slater, and his favorite drink is True Blue.
Oh, I took a picture for you, by the way.
I saw it.
Did you see it?
The True Blue truck.
Yeah, the True Blue truck. Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I was out and I found a True Blue truck.
So Vader squashed. He started like a cow pie on Raw.
But anyway, that's not getting out to what really is the business portion. The business portion is next.
I know.
McMahon would look like he was going to fire, your notes say Cena, but McMahon looks like he was going to fire Johnny Laurinaitis.
Yeah,
Big Show came out to defend him, and Cena picked out to come out to confront the Big Show. McMahon made a decision stating if Cena beats Big Show on Sunday, then Laurinaitis will be fired and McMahon will be ringside. This was supposed to happen a month ago.
Right.
But then word got out that Stephanie was going to be taking place. that's why it was alluding to Stephanie.
Right.
So what is undoubtedly going to happen is
Big Show's going to get demolished. So and then gets fired.
Lauren Knight's going to get fired, and
that leads us to No Way Out.
Monday, Stephanie will be back,
which I guess we'll be tuning in to No Way Out at a new place this month.
Yeah.
And we don't know where.
We do know where.
Really? I haven't been told.
Well, we're telling you now, live on TV.
Why do you not like surprises on the show, but I get them?
Well, I thought you would have known. It's not my fault you didn't know this. You can blame him for this.
Thank you, jerk.
We'll be watching the pay-per-view at Big B's place.
No, really, hit me with the real thing.
He seems so enthusiastic.
We're watching it at Christian's house. Woohoo! That way we can do all the Cody Rhodes bashing we want, and it'll be fun.
Well, now that we're here,
I'm gonna be at his house if he's wrestling.
Now that we're gonna be watching the pay-per-view here, Big B go to his room and do all the Cody Rhodes bashing once.
Woohoo! Yes! Yes!
So we're watching it here.
Yes, we're watching it here at the fellas.
I should have another idea in mind.
I don't.
The fella.
He's out of town. He's going to Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Must be nice.
He's going to take a vacation on the beach.
So,
what was that?
We get into No
Way Out.
Way Out.
After the break.
I'm Jamin Olivencia, and you're watching Triple Threat Talk.
And welcome back, and we're gonna
Final commercial break.
We're gonna get right into our No Way Out preview. Pick'ems, as we like to do.
Schmick'ems.
We do have a YouTube/Facebook/WWE.com/pre-show.
What happened to MySpace? I want to know.
I don't know. Brodus Clay, the Focusaurus, versus David Otunga.
I look for Clay to win this one.
Clay hasn't lost to anybody yet in a while that I can see. I don't see David Otunga winning. It'd be nice to see Otunga win, but I think Clay wins this one.
Brodus Clay wins in a squash.
Literally.
Probably
squash. Yes. Now on to the meat and potatoes.
Well, before we get to the matches, there's something I want to address on the pay-per-view. Is it me?
No.
Or is this Triple H thing a Raw thing and not a pay-per-view thing?
I think it is.
It wants to get publicity for something else.
Yeah.
They want to have Lesnar against Triple H at SummerSlam. They want to get it built up now. There's reports that Lesnar's not going to be there. We'll see. So
we shall see.
So anyway.
So we do have 4 title matches announced.
Wait. They have more than 4 matches for us. Yes.
They have 5, but you know they'll probably add a tag titles match and a couple other things.
Primo and Epic.
Alright. So the Divas title's on the line again, yawn. Because this is like the 4th time.
I do like
these two. It's like the 4th time
I know, but I like these two. These actually can wrestle.
Layla versus Beth Phoenix.
I don't see Layla losing it. No, we don't.
Layla.
The Intercontinental title. The man. Captain
myth. The
Charisma.
He's a myth for sure.
Christian takes on Cody DeMuro.
When are you going to ask Cody to be your partner?
Yes! Good job. That was epic.
And I will not wear what James wore, that's for sure.
Big B. Take it away.
As much as I'd like to see him win, I don't see him losing it right away. I gotta go with Christian this one.
Christian!
I think Christian wins. A triple threat match for the WWE title. The champion, which by the way, that title's changing real soon.
I heard about that.
Yes. CM Punk.
Are they getting rid of the spinning belt?
Yes.
But I heard it's not much better.
Versus Daniel Bryan versus Kane.
Yes! Versus AJ somewhere. She's with somebody. She's made out with Kane on Raw.
She flirted with CM Punk.
And she used to date Daniel Bryan.
Why are you spitting on me today?
Tweet.
He's already had his shower, thank you. Well, maybe not. But anyway. Here.
I don't see Punk losing to either of these guys. I gotta go with Punk.
I think Punk wins. I don't see him losing that title till maybe Royal Rumble.
Maybe SummerSlam.
Maybe. I don't know. I think he's gonna hold it a while.
I'm surprised he's held it this long.
Well, but people love him as the champion. They love him as the champion.
Even though USA Network usually likes the villains to have the title, the heels.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about this.
CM Punk, they love CM Punk holding this championship.
Because he's kind of both, but he's not.
He's like Steve. Yeah,
he's just a rebel without a cause. He's like James Dean.
World Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus or Dolph Ziggler?
Lobster head.
I'll say this though, I am very pleased that they put Dolph Ziggler in this match. He deserves this shot. He's one of the best in the company, and they finally realize it, and they give him the chance to fight for the world title. Being said, it wouldn't shock me if Dolph Ziggler won, but I still think Sheamus wins this one. It wouldn't shock me if Ziggler won.
Dolph is just a fill-in. They're holding out for Del Rio. Sheamus is going to win this match.
I agree. He's just a fill-in. And now for the 6th pay-per-view in a row.
Wait a minute. I want to get back to that real fast. Del Rio's out with a concussion. Now, is it a concussion or is it a concussion?
Yes, it's a concussion.
Concussion or concussion?
No, it's a concussion.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I didn't see anything happen to him.
You and I, we can see things that happen, and so can...
I watched SmackDown. I didn't see anything happen to him on SmackDown.
That was pretty vicious.
Where on SmackDown? I didn't see anything.
He got hit by Khali.
I watched the whole match. I didn't see anything.
They played it back like 6 times.
Okay,
so for the 6th time in a row,
6.
The pay-per-view will end in a non-title match,
and with John Cena.
Sorry, babe. Every time, I keep telling you, every time it's made sense, though. That's the problem. I know you don't like it, Doctor, but every single time it's been for a good reason.
The question I posed to you and you. When are we going to get a title match with the main event?
You're not. As long as Cena's not the champion, you won't. He'll always somehow, they'll figure out the way that he's the main event. But every time, I know you're tired of it. You hate it. But every time there's been a reason for it. If you go back from the very first one till now, I can give you a legitimate umpteen million reasons why it should be the main event. And this is no different. Job versus job in a steel cage, and I don't know if you know about this.
Job versus job.
Yes, it is.
No, this really is. They just added this stipulation. Okay. If Big Show wins the match, John Cena is fired. If John Cena wins the match, then John Laurinaitis is fired. So it's a battle of jobs.
Obviously, John's gonna win. Cena.
Well, not necessarily. He's been fired once already when he lost to Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett stooge. Fetch me a glass of water.
Get me a bottle of water now.
Well, last time this happened, I said, never say never, that I would only be saying this once. Turns out I was wrong twice. Because for the 2nd month in a row, I am forced to root for John Cena.
You're not forced. You can pull for the Big Show. It's just he would hate you and I would really dislike you.
Yeah.
But he already hates you because of all the utterating bashing of you, him, and Cody Rhodes.
What do you want? He's the one that bashes Cody, not us.
What about you? You bash Cody. You bash me for it.
Over there.
Jack Swagger. Yeah, I don't see Big Show winning this one. I don't see Cena getting fired. I think it's time for a change. I think people power needs to go away. I think Cena wins this one.
I agree. John Cena wins, and we finally get rid of people power. We finally get rid of that stupid...
McMahon got rid of that scooter on Monday.
That was hilarious. I was like, go McMahon, epic.
So that does it for all the topics, sports, wrestling, all that stuff.
Big B, you have a wild card, my friend?
I do not.
You got a wild card? I do. Mine's
Go
epic.
ahead.
Mine's epic.
The floor is yours. And I will continue momentarily.
All right. So, Udonis Haslem. While the Oklahoma City, or the Miami Heat are in town in Oklahoma City, they're staying in a 100-year-old hotel that is supposedly haunted.
Ooh.
Udonis Haslem is staying in this ghost room, apparently.
Ooh.
Udonis Haslem has also said, I've always respected other people's things, and if the ghost comes up in the middle of the night and tells me to get out of this bed, there's about 1,000 other rooms in this hotel. Ours is getting out of this bed, and this ghost can have it anytime he wants. I'll go stay with LeBron.
There you go.
I thought that was very funny. Very, very funny. Very funny take on a haunted situation. That was very funny. Very good.
For you music fans, I attended the CMA Country Music Festival this past weekend in Nashville. Got to see the likes of Eric Church, Luke Bryan, Dierks Bentley, Rascal Flatts, just to name a few. Was fortunate enough to meet Kip Moore, Luke Bryan. Got my picture with Luke Bryan. It's on my Facebook page if you'd like to see that.
No.
Shut up. Also met Philip from Little Big Town, the redhead. Very good time. Awesome music. Great time. I've said it all along, and I'll defend it. Country music artists are the most loyal and the most respectful to their fans out of any music genre. At a drop of a hat, they will come over and take a picture or give an autograph or take time out with you. They're very personable. They're very friendly. And it was well shown and being my first time there, being 20 plus years as a country music fan, it was absolutely amazing. It was a lot to take in. There was so much to take in. I didn't even get to take in everything.
Right. You can't.
You have to take in Cody Rhodes.
It's like going to Disney when you can't see everything.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot to cram in, but it was awesome. It was in honor. It was a week and a day early, but we went as a 1-year wedding anniversary. It's hard to believe, guys, that my 1-year wedding anniversary.
We were on the show last year.
Is next Monday. So since the next show doesn't air until afterwards, I want to say happy anniversary, Stephanie. I love you, baby. You're the love of my life. And I wouldn't trade you for the world, even though sometimes I kid. We
can edit that part out.
But I do love you, and it's been a thrill and a joy, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. And I can't wait to do more shows with you guys. It's been fun. I hated that I had to miss last week.
No, you didn't. You loved it.
No, I didn't. I hated it.
He was dying.
I was dying. I was on my deathbed. I was like Big B. I was like, oh God, I'm gonna die. But
you weren't.
That was my wild card this week. Do we have an idiot of the week?
Other than him, no.
Michael Vick. Yes, I'm gonna give it to Michael Vick. We had
really. I mean, okay.
ESPN.
Anytime we can bash Michael Vick, I'll take it.
I was gonna say. I didn't do this. ESPN did their top 100 of the season. I told Postmaster before the show because he doesn't like surprises. Michael Vick was listed 70. Now, always self-conscious. He says,
and I quote, ...
I should not be listed. I'm not going to tell you where I should be listed. Whereas to say some of the things I can do on the field is uncanny. This is just ridiculous.
Uncanny like the X-Men?
Are you really thinking, because I know what he thinks. He thinks he should be #1. By far. He's got to realize there were not better players.
He's not even in the top 50.
He's not even in the top 50.
No.
I think he should be in the top 50 because ESPN, just by simple logistics, ESPN did put him also in the top 10 quarterbacks. So, I mean, just by what not that I'm saying, not that I agree with that placement.
The 4-letter network is not everything.
Yeah, it's not everything.
ESPN is not the end all be all.
But, I mean, they did put him in the top 10 for quarterbacks, which I think would mean that he should be in the top 50 overall, but he's not. But for being so self-conscious and aware, Michael Vick.
And just because he's freaking Michael Vick, you are this week's Triple Threat Talk Idiot of the Week.
Guys, good show.
This week. As always, you can go to facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can go to our Twitter page, twitter.com/triplethreattalk. There's one T there. It's on the link. And you can send any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. Triple Threat Talk, this is Big B.
This is the Doctor.
This is Postmaster Jones. Rock of Ages starts this week. Check it out. Get you some of Stacey Jacks.
This is Big B, and nobody else is going to be a failed Cody Rhodes.